Okay, this is recording 695. All right, so I'm going to tell you up front that this recording is going to be explicit and painful for my family to hear because I'm about to talk about what Jean Roberts is doing to my family, that she's putting in my brain. Okay, so she's very manipulative. Everything she says and everything she does is a lie. Even me waiting to make the recording before this where I recorded the latest terror crimes that she committed last week. And then she knows, because she hacks my phone, that I'm about to make a report against her, and then it's going to be obscene, and she wants this one to be right after that, and she wants to refer to it as the cherry, is what she's doing with the manipulation of trying to organize my recordings, is what she's doing. She's disgusting, and she's vulgar. She is the one holding people hostage. She is running a hostage racket. She is trying like hell to convince everyone and lie to everyone that it's everybody else. You've got to go through all these recordings. You've got to go read. You've got to go learn. You've got to listen to these recordings, and you need to understand that Jean Roberts is a white supremacist. She is Ku Klux Klan. She is lying, and she is manipulating, and she is trying to create an artificial war by provoking people with lies and silencing those who know the crimes that she's committed against them into wanting nothing but pure rage, which is provoking people into that state. Jean Roberts is a Caucasian female. She is white supremacist. So I want to talk about first, before I get into what she put in my brain, last night, it was this morning, I went to go put a post on the White House Facebook page, letting them know that I updated my recordings and that there's more recordings up. Now, when I'm doing that, for those of you who don't understand or who don't get it, I'm putting the number of the recordings, and I'm saying number is up at www.christinastation918.com. So what I'm doing with that is, I think I've already explained this, but I'll explain it again, is that I'm saying what that was saying in the post. I'm saying that it is Charles Manson occult is a terrorist, and to the level of nuclear terrorism. And I'm doing that by using a company that they probably own, and the company is aware of it. They said to me in my brain that they would do something or say something to make sure that people know that they don't stand for Jean Jernigan Roberts or her Manson occult, because, the employees of the company, they don't want any white peopling. They don't want any of it. They don't want any of Jean's racket. They know she's committing terrorism. They know she's trafficking. They know she's trying to steal my identity. She's trying to claim that she's me, Christina Stacia. And she's trying to hide her own identity. And she's doing this all with the lies, hiding, and artificial intelligence technology. But I have a picture of her right on my website. You can see what she looks like. You can look her right up on Facebook. But anyway, so the company is Krispy Kreme. So I'm using Patricia Kremrinkle, because I bet you that's how Krispy Kreme got its name. I haven't done the research on the company, but I'm telling you that's no coincidence. And then You know how Homer Simpson from The Simpsons, where did he work? He worked in Springfield. And where did he work? He worked in a nuclear factory. And what does Homer Simpson always eat? Donuts. And what is Homer also? Homer is an old poem or an old Shakespeare. So it's also saying AIW. See, I'll code on all old plays. I decode plays. I decode poetry, everything. So, another thing is that I'm saying with it is that this is a massive, massive terror plot. And I'm using the bell. Okay, so at Krispy Kreme, they ring a bell. Or they light up a light is what they do every time Fresh donuts are ready. So that's what I'm saying. The recordings are up. So I'm not doing any of her crap that she uses regarding donuts. I don't regard any of her food shit at all. I'm using it as she's Charles Manson. She is a terrorist. She's got a massive, massive terror plot. And new recordings are up, and I'm making you very aware of it. So anyway, Jean, this morning, so I went to go make this post, right? So literally in my brain this morning, she cried out. She flashed something on the media. She manipulates the ad placement and the media placement, just like she manipulates the commercials, the music, everything else. Okay. And she cried out, starving. Okay. So what people do at her, her brother is Jeffrey Dahmer. So people use the word freezer at Jean. When they want to know who Jean is, they go freezer. They know that way they know who Jean Jernigan Roberts is. So she's real snide in return and acts like the whole world doesn't know that about her. When she's the one that told me, she told me in AI. You see all recordings, all the discussions, everything, all about it. So then she cried out the word starving as if, and she's pointing out that, and then she's pointing out that I'm fat. And then she goes, thank you. And then she said, pointed to my weight, and then she goes, sad. And then I was like, let me just go off on this bitch. Let me just go off on her. Her and her bitches have got to be the stupidest, sickest bitches in the fucking world. I am the one making reports against Jean Jernigan Roberts for holding people hostage. She is pretending to be the mob. She's pretending to be Latin America. She's pretending to be African American. And she's pretending that she's just your biggest, widest, Vikingest, best freaking blonde, freaking boobless friend you've ever had. And you know all the crimes she's guilty for. And she sits on her whatever, and she completely disregards all of my reports against her and continues to manipulate and con people. And I'm like, would you guys stop helping Jean Roberts? She is the one holding people hostage. If you would go turn her in, maybe people could get down to where, because she's got people held hostage above ground and below ground. I've already explained it to you in all of these recordings. Okay, you go through all of the recordings. There's so much here. It's insane. You can get to the people that she is holding hostage, and she wants to cry that she's concerned about people starving. She does have people starving. I told you in previous recordings, the Abajo, I'm not even going to say the name of the Abajo, but it's the name of a certain Abajo. And I told you I was at work at Reese's, and she threatened to cut off their food supply in my brain. She is the one starving people. And I don't know if everybody is starving everywhere underground, but I know she has hostages everywhere underground. I consider if you are, as I've said before, the way I see it is if you're living under the surface of the earth, that I'm not being sarcastic, I'm being straightforward, because Jean tells lies about every single word I say. By the time I have this done recorded, she'll have changed my voice, my tone, my inflection. She'll have edited the captions. She doesn't want people to know what year it is, what day it is. She doesn't want anybody to know my website. She wants people to only hear her voice and her Charles Manson occult voice. And her fucking, I'm sorry, she's inserting curse words in my sentence. Her stupid, her people are stupid. They're like those dumb women from Austin Powers with the freaking fuzzy bras and then the freaking guns pointing out of their boobs. They're fucking dumb. They say the dumbest fucking shit because they take an oath for Jean and they do everything she says and they spread lies. They are the white peoplers. They spread lies for her everywhere. They're fucking stupid. And Ackright does these little skits and stuff with Jean, trying to flip and whip around my brainwave activity. Like, he'll silence me and he'll start doing his little skit or talking, or he'll like talk through me. Like, they'll do like stuff, or they'll try to get me to talk and then they'll turn it all around and go tell lies. And they've got like the different cells partitioned because I can hear them. I can hear people talking in my brain, and then I can hear like in a cell membrane over in my brain, I can hear and feel the sensor in my brain, like the muted wall, like the firewall. And she's off on the other side of it, just lying her ass off to people, screaming to people. She's going, oh my God, oh my God. And then this, and then, oh my God. And then she's like one lie after the other. And then she goes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, stupid bitches. All Jean Roberts people. Anyway, so I'm like, I have been decoding crimes that Jean Roberts and her cult have committed for 9 years now. All of my decode and ciphers, she has tried to steal one way or another, and she has fraudulently claimed they are hers. And she brags about ripping some of it up where people will never see it. She lies about what's going on. She lies about everything. African Americans have threatened her. You cannot touch any of Christina's decode. You can't. She has history, and there's just world history in there. We want every letter, every number. Everything means something. And she doesn't care. She preaches to her people, it's NWO, Illuminati. You don't look at the past. You only look forward. You just do what we say. Soon people will be gone and we can do what we want. I mean, that's basically the speech she gives the most privileged freaking dumbasses that go out and do her evil bidding. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so I'm like, so I know she's holding people hostage. I know she's running a trap. She takes, you know how you made that? Okay, I'm going to say that. I'll let me say it because this is my decode. I have a Canva account. I make all kinds of Canvas. They're on my Pinterest. Some of them Jean has messed with, you know, Jean just thinks she's just cuter than shit at her. And she's like, you know, she's nearly 80. You can see a picture of her. And she like tinks with things. And she like edit like this and that. Like she's just like pick here and pick there and tink, 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 tink. Thinking she's cute as hell, knowing I'm turning her in for terrorism and trafficking. And then she just tears up because, Okay, so it's because she is stealing from me and she thinks nobody can see me making reports against her. And then she steals what I make and then she claims it's hers. And she claims it's coming from her. And she still has people believing that some of my stuff is hers. None of my stuff is hers. That's all my deco. That's all my ciphers. So anyway, the canvas, everything. So anyway, she's insane, and she's insane. So then in the middle of the night last night, I was asleep and someone came on and she did a CGI of someone that I go to AA with, and this is not the first time she's done this. She's used other people I go to AA with too. She uses like a fake like holograph CGI, and she can make it look really realistic. And she made him going, "It has no taste," making a threat. And then he said something else. He was saying that he poisoned me, but I don't know what he did. He said something else too, but I don't remember what he said. So anyway, you might want to go talk to him to see if he's involved at all. If he's not, then make him aware that I'm making reports against somebody that is gang stalking me and to just disregard. And if he's involved, then you may want to tell him to stop. He's connected to a terror cell, and get every person everywhere that he's connected to, because they need to be arrested. So anyway, so then I was looking at music on my phone or whatever for my podcast, and then there was I came across A Tribe Called Quest, and the album cover is heartbreaking. Well, the album cover of theirs, and it's a guy, and he looks like he's starving, and he's in red and black, and I'm like, well, that's what my Metallica shirt is saying. If you listen to my recordings, you know what everything means. If you listen to Gene's lies, there's nothing I can do for you. You make your own choices. But anyway, so she's on in the back of my brain when I see the Tribe Called Quest album cover, and she's like, being all snotty. Or thank you. Like they're all just in love with her or something. And they cornered her, and because she tried to flip it around and she tried to tell a lie real quick, or enact right, Gene Roberts enact right. And then he goes, he's talking to Gene Roberts, and he goes, if you weren't the one holding people hostage, you would have had no reason to flip shit around and tell lies just now. You just flipped around everything that was said. And you know, when I make this, they have your whole recording. So if she tries to flip stuff around your recording, like clip and stitching, they have your whole recording. It's online. I'm talking through your voice to you, Christina Sasha. So anyway, so he's like, you're the one holding people hostage. You don't sit there and place fake ass demands based off of your fake ass fucking lies as the only reason people can be free. And why wouldn't a million people say bullshit and demand Gene's arrest over that? I mean, that's a load of crap. You don't fucking tell lies and act like you speak on behalf of everyone. The other night, she gave some freaking, one of her people gave some song and dance to me that she's posing as like the, you know, like the Lost Boys in Peter Pan. She's posing as like the new age mother to all children everywhere where their parents have ever wronged them. And she's their mother now. Just do what Jean says and she'll take care of you. And she literally has people forced into people who want to use AI or acquire access to artificial intelligence lines. She literally has people forced into saying their name is Jean, or they have to do Jean's crap when Jean is full of fucking shit. And I'm told Jean's full of shit, fucking ignore. All they do is constantly, like the same thing I do on my brain, kick her, freaking beat her. Today they dumped spaghetti all over her. They dumped eyeballs on her. Because I was pushed in a memory flashback this morning of myself in grade school at East Globe, and it was Halloween. And there was a box, and there was a cutout in it, and I was in grade school, and I stuck my hand in the box, and it had spaghetti, and it had peeled grapes in it, and it's supposed to feel like, I don't know, whatever the hell, worms and eyeballs. Anyway, I was a little kid, and I was like, oh, it was gross. And I was talking to this little kid next to me, and he was like, oh, yeah. He was a little boy. He's like, ah. And I'm like, ew. And they were like, they said that little boy was El Chapo, who you went to grade school with. That was him. Because I did go to grade school with him, because he told me that. I was like, I can't remember you. But I believe it, because I keep decoding how she stalked my family line and yours all our lives. But he's like, I remember you. And I'm like, I don't remember you. So anyway, they had her in her Adirondack. It's not her Adirondack chairs. My dad did. It's the Adirondack chairs on my dad's back porch in Slidell, Louisiana. Okay. Someone told her she can't sit in any of those chairs. And so she sat her fucking Viking ass in one of the chairs. So then everybody started calling her Adirondack because she hacks the shit out of everyone everywhere. So anyway, now she pulls a stunt where there's also a picture of me sitting behind the Adirondack chairs, and I've got like a melon colored shirt on. Remember I told you about what she did to my shirt? And I'm sitting next to a sheriff. Okay. And he's like one of my dad's best friends. His name is Terry Cedarholm. So anyway, we're sitting on the back porch chilling. So they superimpose me and Terry sitting in the chairs behind where the Adirondack chair is, where Gene Roberts sits. And then Jean keeps going, I'm Christina, and she's me. And then she keeps switching shit around desperately in my brain and brain visuals. And people are like, would you just knock the fucking shit off? They know who you are, Jean. They know who Christina is. By God, now they're calling her super fat. I'm talking through your voice at you, Christina Station. I'm talking to everybody else, but no. They call me super fat Christina now. I gained so much weight. But anyway, it's like, you know why. It's due to AI and it's due to stress. Okay, she's affecting my body systems. And it's stress. I almost don't even have any eyelashes left. Stress. So anyway, okay, so he goes, you would have no need to switch anything the frick around if you weren't the one holding people hostage. There'd be no reason for you to switch anything around. So I know without even listening to Christina's recordings and listening to what you just pulled just now, that you are the one holding people hostage. It would be Jean and Ackright, and somebody else pointed to me today. Look, and no, it wasn't one of your nasty little friends, Jean. I know how much you love them and you want them just to be as famous as you. Her little fucking Epstein crew. She's got plenty of freaking dumb twats to feed them. They all just, I mean, they're fucking insane, all of them. Anyway, no, the twats are stupid because Jean is a perp and her people are perps. So, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, anyway, so I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, they said they go look at the initials JAR, Alice in Wonderland, and then Jarhead Marines. And then someone came on, and I know who came on because they were fucking pissed. They were so fucking pissed. Remember when he said to Gene Roberts, he goes, "The Chinese mafia is gonna kick your ass." He was so freaking pissed, and they will kick Gene's ass because they keep coming on every once in a while and telling me just to hold my semblance, just make a report where it matters where everyone can hear it. But anyway, they were fucking pissed, and they go, "The Marines are gonna fucking kill you." But he was pissed. He was screaming. He was screaming at Jean. And people were like, "I don't know how she got the fuck away with that." And then people were talking to some of the girls on here that talk with me, and they're like, and they're like, "We did not do that." They're like, "No, they're like, "We did not do that. We did not come up with that name. He's sick. He's a bad person. And he's sick." And people were just saying they were just cracking jokes, and they were just saying he doesn't have any act right in him. And then they just started calling him Act Right. And they're like, "We didn't come up with that name," and everybody just calls them Act Right. So don't you anything at us. We did not do that. And they started getting upset, and my brain is I can't say anything because Act Right keeps my brain muted where I can't mental telepathy, but I can hear. Sometimes I can talk and sometimes I can't. But if I try to talk, it's like me talking out loud inside my brain. He'll try to take over my speech, or he'll pass it to one of his sickos or Gene. So anyway, they're just like, "No, no, 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 So anyway, I can't believe that the military would let Gene and Act Right get away with that at all. And you got to know that they're not letting them get away with that. Okay, she is holding people hostage. She has ballistics. Her occult is a conglomerate of occult. It's huge. So anyway, so remember what else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. And then somebody told me that Gene stole something that I said to her or about her over and over and over and over when I was in Oklahoma City. And I even wrote it on the back of one of my teeny tiny little notebooks, a decode that I did, the pink one, where I'm like, if you're reading this and you're not doing anything about it, that's the wrong move. Okay, so that's what I've always said since I've been in Oklahoma City. If you're not turning in Gene Roberts, then you're doing the wrong damn thing. And then she said she stole it and flipped it around, and she's in my brain right now, back in going, thank you. Right now. She flipped it around, and then she stole it. So she would have done one of two things. She would have tricked somebody into going and saying it on behalf of me, so she could organize a racket for herself, so she can get away with it. Or flip it around and have somebody say it against me, which would get her freaking nowhere because she's the perp. So anyway, okay. So, all right. So she puts in my brain last night, or not last night, the night before, she puts in my brain this liquefied sick. You know how she has that metal dripping in the liquefied sick? So she does this whole video vignette and she's got music going and everything. So I can tell it is the same creators that are making all the other video that she's made and stuck in my brain. Okay. So she literally has members of my family on my dad's side starved to death. And Act Right has, and I'm seeing it in my brain, like I can barely, like I'm unconscious because I'm asleep, and then I become awake, okay, because it's lighting up my brain. It's literally like my brain lights up. And then Act Right has like my brain suppressed, and he's in my brain like having a good time with Gene and his friends, okay? And they're members of my family, all different members of my family. And they're feeding Gene. They're mentioning all of Gene's little favorites that she's abused and sold over the years and tells massive lies about. And then they're showing members of my family on my dad's side starved to death and in sexual poses. And it's all like in this sexual, like not like a dream, like it's like I'm like seeing him in rooms and stuff in different poses and stuff, and she's framing it where it's looking like it's the Marines doing it because the Marines are on making sex videos with Act Right and Gene Roberts abusing my dad's side of the family so Gene can get her jollies on her 60 years of fun. Like the Marines are fucking doing that. But that's how she's got the video playing. And now they're in the back of my brain right now. Gene Roberts and her people going, thank you, thank you. But they're going like this. They're going, thank you, thank you. Oh, like breathy and shit. So anyway, you know how she has threatened and she tried to blame my dad. And I know my dad would not do this. I know it was Gene doing it. I know it was people acting like my dad. And it freaked me out in the beginning. And I was like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? And then I realized that is not my dad doing that. But she threatened to kidnap. She'd come on and she'd sound like you know how she likes to make herself, she's like in her late 70s. You know, like she likes to make herself sound like she's a young girl and she's like ready for instant delivery. She's like, here I am. But she talks like a little girl. She's like, yeah. How she talked when I was on talking with General Schwarzkopf in my brain and mental telepathy, and she started trying to come on to me and General Schwarzkopf, and I was like in the backseat of Michael's car, and this is going on in my brain, and there's like nowhere for me to escape. Like I want to open the car door and just like jump out. Like I'm like, what the fuck, man? Lady, get the fuck off me. Fucking Gene Roberts. And he's like puking, and I'm like fucking puking. And she's like, like all over the two of us. And we're like sitting there, we're talking about all kind of like Marine stuff and everything. So anyway, it's like, it's a fetish of hers. Okay. And see the whole recording on it. So it's just, she's talking in that voice and she's like, he's going to kidnap Lisa. And then she shows a little backpack. And then another time she said, remember when she said she kidnapped, she told me that she kidnapped my grandma Stacia and that she's holding her hostage underneath her house in Milton, Florida, and that she's in a coma. And then she comes on and she tells me, I beat her, saying that she beat her up. Gene Jernigan Roberts. And then she was saying my Aunt Terry had been kidnapped, and she said my dad kidnapped her, and she's underneath my dad's house in Slidell. Now, here's the thing is, She really does kidnap people. She really is holding people hostage. She really is starving people. She really is abusing people. She really is running a trafficking ring. She really is committing terrorism. But some of the stuff she puts in my brain is fake. And like she's trying to like psychotically scare me. But this is what can be done, is charge her for those exact crimes. That's what she said she did. And she put it in my brain like that, trying to terrorize me. She's done a lot more than that, and I'm waiting for in-person conversations, and I'll tell you what else she did. Sticking stuff in my brain. But anyway, I wanted to make a report about all of that. So there's the end of that recording.